Yo. Welcome back to Any and Everything Podcast. I'm not even gonna say I'm one of the hosts. I am a guest on this all-female driven podcast. I'm here with Lauren, Mel, Amber. Of course, you know my guy Mark, and then there's me. I'm just here for support. I'm gonna let these ladies run the show because it's their show today. They took over the podcast. This was planned, wasn't a hijacking, but very much needed.
But it
Love to
was.
have a woman's perspective. So, ladies, please introduce yourself. Take over. I'm gonna fade to black real quick. Do you think?
I don't know. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure I'm having some technical difficulties over here. But what's up, everybody? Y'all already know who I am. For those who don't, I am Lauren. I am a guest from Ralph. He invited me some time ago, but I am back and I'm happy to be here.
Hey, what's up, y'all? I've been here before as well. I'm Mel. And I'm ready to get into this topic. What's up, Amber?
Hello, folks. I'm Amber. For those who know, I'm Marcus's little sister. Y'all seen him. He's like one of the main people on the podcast, and I've appeared as a guest as well. And we are here, and I'm here, and I'm happy. We're gonna talk about some hoes and hoes in this house and big booties and all that stuff. I'm sorry. I'm excited. I'm saying something.
Got a little support.
Yes. That
Okay.
helps. All right.
All right. Well, let's jump right into it. So, I am going to go ahead and say the title or the topic says the whole culture. Okay. Now, what's y'all take on that? Because I really don't understand too much about what people mean when they say whole culture.
So I guess we should start with a few definitions. There's actually a few definitions for whole culture. The one that's like the simplest is pretty much a term to describe the rise and an encouragement of promiscuity in women. And this one is a little more longer. A mentality based on a lack of accountability for whore or hoish acts, statements, and presentation is displayed everywhere now, all over America and every race of women. A common place to view it is social media. It's highlighted by direct and covert use of sexual innuendo to gain the leverage for quote unquote free fun time. Women who qualify to be categorized in quote unquote whole culture are users and schemers who feel it's a privilege for the man to be played. So that's more of a detailed definition, but yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. I feel like the whole culture initially was supposed to be empowering. I feel like the intentions behind it, I felt was good. Initially, it was basically supposed to be the idea that women, it's supposed to go against this double standard, pretty much that men can pretty much, sleep with whoever, do whatever, and brag about it, and it's fine. But women, they do the same thing, and then they get called hoes, sluts, whatever. And I do feel like that, back when I think Amber Rose and Black China, if I'm not mistaken, were doing the slut walk thing. It's some hoes in this house. Yeah, sorry. Hey, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm seeing some familiar friends. But yeah, so basically, I feel like, back then they were trying to stand up for, their bodies, owning their bodies, and being able to make any choices they want to make. And I remember that was a very controversial movement, the slut walk. I remember the commercial where Amber Rose was supposed to be leaving somebody's house, and that was her slut walk, because it was leaving the house of a man that she slept with the night before for a one night stand, and she was proud of it. And I think I get, again, the intentions, but I think it went somewhere else as of today, if in my opinion. I don't know what everyone else feels. Yeah,
Definitely. I feel like it's unfortunately, in my opinion, it's unfortunate that it has been glorified in today's society. And I just watched a video earlier. Congresswoman Maxine Waters was talking about WAP, the song. And she said after she listened to it, she was okay with it and felt like it's empowering women. She felt like male rappers have done the same for years, and basically now it's our time to put ourselves out there and be free. Me personally, I don't agree, but I mean, that's just where we are in the culture right now. And my question has been, is this helping or harming women? Because you can have this sort of sexual liberation, so to speak, and feel free to do what men have been doing for years in the name of equality. But in the end, we're never going to be looked at in that way, in my opinion. We're never going to be looked at as equal in that way. It's always going to be frowned upon, whether there are a million songs made about it, or a million interviews, or a million Amber Roses out here promoting it. I don't feel like that's something that will ever be 100% accepted by the masses. Basically, because we're supposed to be looked at as dainty, and we're supposed to be the softer of the human species. We're supposed to be the nurturers and all of that. We're not supposed to go overboard and showing our sexuality. And to some extent, I agree. No, I don't agree with this whole new culture that's coming up and making it okay for younger girls, because I see now toddlers are being dressed a certain way. I never heard of a toddler wearing a belly shirt. And it's starting from a toddler on up to early teens. And it's almost like it's being glorified to the point of now we must raise our little girls to come up like this, to be sexually liberated and be free and live your life however you want to live it. That's what really bothers me the most. These little girls that look at it like, you're a grown woman, you do what you want, live how you want, but now we're involving the kids. And to me, that can be very, very harmful for the future generations to come.
Well, I want to just really say, to the question you said, is it helping or is it harming us? That's like a double-edged sword to me. And I say that because, in a sense, it is helping women learn how to stick together. There's like a common medium in there for all women, because at some point or another, we've all felt that way. We've all felt like, why can't we do this? Because men do it all the time. So I feel like it's helped us in a way of unifying us as women. But on the flip side, it's still harming us, because just like you said, we can't do what men do. We're never going to be looked at. A man can go out here and have, I mean, hundreds of women, A man could go out here and have hundreds of children, and that man is still going to be accepted because he's a man. He's still going to have a flock of women following him because he's a man. Women cannot do that. If we in the same neighborhood, if we got one too many tags on us in the same neighborhood when it comes to men, we are just off the chopping block. Just don't even look at her no more. Like don't even deal with her. And so, and when it comes to them adding little girls into how they dress very provocatively as adults, and they're making little girls do that, they are disguising that as fashion. And that's the sad part about it, because we see a woman with a nice body, and she looks good in that two top. Yes, she looks good in that mini skirt. She looks good in those really tight pants. And then when we do that with the children, they try to say, oh, on the flip side, oh, it's just fashion. We're just making her look like a girl because they want girls to dress like girls. But girls really shouldn't be dressed up that way. But that's just my opinion. I don't, allow my girls to do that. But everyone is different.
I think my issue with the whole culture is that it's getting to the point where, and it's funny that you mentioned that, it's supposed to help us stick together. But in a sense, I feel like it is also putting us against each other in a weird way, because I've noticed, especially on social media, that if you are not promoting whole culture, if you're doing the opposite, if you're happy because you've been with one guy for X amount of years, if you're happy because you haven't, had a quote unquote whole phase or something like that. If you just, if you are giving yourself props for doing something that you felt, was valuable to you, you get called what they call today a pick me. And it's like, now it's like, it's bad to be like, well, okay, like, if you want to embrace in your quote unquote hoish activities, then that's you. But if I want to do the opposite and want to cover up, or if I'm, want to be proud of the fact that, I haven't had many partners hypothetically, then that should be okay too. And I think that's what I'm starting to realize, is that, now it's like, you can get a negative reaction from that nowadays. Like, oh, you just a pick me, or you think you better than everybody, or something like that. And also, it's getting to the point now where, I remember when they used to say, get you a girl that can do both. And, and they'll show a girl her degree and her education, and then they'll show the same girl probably dancing at the club or whatever. And that's fine. But now they're kind of like clashing the two worlds. And I think this is a good point to bring up that with that student. Can we get that photo real quick? The student who took her graduation photos. Yes, this situation here is, to me, an example of when the quote unquote whole culture, or embracing your sexuality, is kind of
going too far. I'm sorry.
Way too far.
And this is her graduation pictures.
Right.
And she, she could do both, obviously, but she put it in the same category. And it's like, certain things just shouldn't occur. And this is someone who is going to have grad pictures to show her celebration of graduating and getting her education. And this is what
I mean, listen, and I'm not mad at that comment though, because it's gonna be what it's gonna
be. She looks good, but
she does. But it's like, I feel like, well, there used to be a case where just because you could do it doesn't mean that you would.
Yeah,
I can do anything that I want to do. Anything that I want to do.
Right.
That don't mean I'm going out here doing it, because there's a lack of standards now. And I don't know her, don't know nothing about her, don't even know the young lady's name in that picture. But you gone to college and obtained a 4-year degree, and this is what you want to be the representation of that. Why? I'm pretty sure throughout her college time, guys hit on her, always told her how she looked. She probably looked good the whole time she was there. That's fine, but you weren't there for that. So unless you got your degree in whole culture, why in the world would this be your photo shoot?
Yeah,
I don't
And you know
understand.
what? And she might not have. Let's be real. She might not have gotten that attention. Maybe she, she may have, this may have been her coming out moment. Maybe she, because I know that, sometimes as women, we will stay in the shadow for so long and we'll just take care of business. And then we'll really sit on sometimes and think that what can we do to really pop out, to step out. And I think that that may have been something with her too, especially if there's no track record of her doing things like this throughout her 4 years at this institution. And so
Hoology.
Hoology. So this could have just been her, her pop-out moment. We don't know that. And then, like you said, she could have been getting this attention, but I don't necessarily see someone who's been getting attention this whole time to seek another level of attention as such. I feel like maybe she has been kind of just focusing on school, and like she probably want to get out in the world. Like, I got this degree to fall back on, but maybe that degree was not her plan for life.
Yeah.
And that's true because I and it's not the first time I've seen something like that. I think another girl did something similar a while back. She took her pictures the same way. She had on like I think her stripper attire, and I think that was her way of saying that she stripped to pay her way through school. So
Okay.
I guess that was her way of showing, I guess, her gratitude towards the
Right. So wait a
job.
minute, real quick on that comment that was just made. At least
Sorry.
she's not a dumb hoe. Um, says who? Because just because you have a college degree don't make you smart. Like
I said
people,
4 year, but that don't mean she could have been there 6 years.
is people, she could have been there 6 years. She could have, people have got to stop thinking that because somebody holds a degree, a piece of paper that says that they're able to read books and answer questions on the test, that they're actually smart. That does not mean anything at all. I have, friends from back home that barely passed high school, not because they weren't smart, but because they fell into the streets. But they're like, I mean, when I say they're like Albert Einstein, like people just be adding numbers in their heads and just be, and they sit on their own time and read books upon books. And they really are very intelligent and smart people. And then I also have coworkers who have master's degrees and will really come and ask me a question like, well, what type of food does KFC sell? And it'd be
Yeah,
like,
I always said it was a difference between being educated and actually being intelligent, because you can be
right.
educated and and
Yeah.
I think, and that's what people say is like, oh, she's educated, at least she's educated. But that just, and depending on what her she's depending on what her intentions are, like you said, she probably don't plan on using her degree. That was just her, that's true. But the problem is when you make certain moves like that, if that's her way of saying, she's proud of who she is and whatever I think her response was she always dressed very provocative for all her life. That's fine. But I think in that definition where it says the lack of accountability when it comes to doing hoe-ish activities is she can't be surprised if she does want to go into the corporate world and then they see that and be like, yeah, nah, we good. If you're gonna stand by it, then, excuse me. Can you take her in the back, please? You lost your privileges. Out. Bye-bye. But yeah, if you I'm gonna take her back there. Don't so Mikey, they can see you. Stop. I'm sorry. But she can't be surprised if she has challenges along the way. So it's just, and to me, if you're gonna stand by that, I know she just want to be heard. If she wants to stand by that, then she has to be willing to also stand by what comes with that type of choice.
Right.
And a lot of
Right.
times get that backlash and get mad and be like, oh well, men can do it, or if it was this and da da da. And someone made a point. If it was a man who took a picture out there in his boxers or something, like what people will probably look at him
Right.
sideways as well. And so, it just becomes a time at some point. And I think that you just need to be bracing. You need to be ready for what comes at you when you make certain decisions.
Right.
I think
And,
that I think that when people do stuff like this is what leads a lot of younger girls to, follow the actual culture in itself. When they see pictures like this circulating, and then that girl goes and does well in life, then it makes younger girls say, well, she still made it, but there's no articles out here talking about the hundreds of thousands of other girls who pose for places like Playboy back in, in the 70s and 80s and could not get a job after they did that. They had to stay at the Playboy mansion and get body enhancements and all types of stuff in order to keep themselves relevant. But nobody's talking about the women who got shunned out of, the work world because those photos were pulled up.
right.
Mhm.
And to someone's comment, somebody made a comment about accountability. And it seems like society is trying to normalize it to take away all responsibility and accountability when it comes to, is this it right here? I think it comes down to education and accountability. We have a lot of households where children see their parents doing all types of things and they want to emulate or they think it's okay. And bringing up a child in that type of environment tells them, like, you don't have to be accountable for your actions, you just act. And that's a very dangerous mindset to have because these kids are growing up. It seems like it gets worse with every generation when it comes to sexuality. Um, Pretty soon, people gonna be walking down the street naked. I just know it. I just know it. Like people just gonna be walking down the street naked at this point because it just doesn't like no. There's no limit in my opinion. There's no limit right now. So now it's normalized to just be who you are, be free, love yourself. Yes, love yourself, but also love yourself enough to know everybody does not deserve to see this aspect of you. And keep some of that stuff to yourself or with your spouse or your significant other or whoever. Everybody does not deserve, everybody does not deserve to see all of you. And I think that's the most important takeaway from this. Like you are who you are individually for a reason. And if you don't have any accountability, if you don't have any pride about yourself, if you don't have any limits to yourself, that sets not only you up for failure, but generations that you are teaching and also people that you're exposing yourself to, in
But
my
so for
opinion.
the person, okay, so really quick, so for the person who is exposing themselves, it's out there, is it their responsibility? Do you feel like it's their actual responsibility because they're putting themselves out to the world? You think that it's their responsibility to be the ones to set a certain example for people who are looking up to them? Because I have real mixed, emotions about that.
To some extent,
Okay.
you're responsible for what you put out. You're not necessarily responsible for how it's received.
Mhm.
And I feel like that is very important. I'm glad you brought that out. It's very important to look at because, I can, like, say, for instance, my hair. I can put out there that my hair is so long and luxurious and everybody would think that it's mine and it's long and luxurious. And I could just let them think that, or I can tell them that it's not. Or I can tell them that I put a kit in my hair or whatever the case might be. I put out what I want to put out and you receive it however you receive it. And am I responsible for how you receive it? I feel like to some extent, the attitude behind me putting it out can kind of shape how it's taken. But then again, at the same time, just because the attitude is put out there doesn't mean that you receive it the way the attitude was given. So I see what you're saying from that standpoint.
Right.
We can't be solely responsible for how society receives us, but we have to be conscious enough about who we are, what we want to be, and how we present ourselves to the world.
I think that I really feel like I guess I'm just a little different in my thinking. I feel like that we can put 100 things out there, not worry. I feel like we should not be worried about how people receive them, especially when we know the intent and how we put them out there. Um, People, who are very promiscuous, who dress very, sexy, then I mean, they're gonna have to deal with that backlash, and that's definitely their thing. But should they worry about? Because it bothers me when people say to people, like Cardi B and stuff like that, you dress so provocative. You got little girls that are following you. I mean, their mama might be doing that same thing at home. So why put this on the person who's in the limelight, who's in that, who's always out there? And it just bothers me when people try to put such a responsibility on a person's head. And it's just like, if you're going to follow somebody because of the lifestyle that they're showing you that they're living, then you're going to end up dealing with the consequences of that. And so, nobody should be doing things thinking that, oh, well, I can't be worried about, how people will view it, because I look at it like this. I mean, the only people I honestly worry about are my children. I don't worry about how anybody else's daughter is viewing me, anybody else's little sister is viewing me when they see me. That is not my business. If you see me and you see me doing something that you may not necessarily agree with, then that's on you. But my daughters are the ones that I worry about the most. And so I try to preserve myself to act a certain way for my daughters, because I don't necessarily want them to follow negative things that I do. Now I do some negative stuff. But I try to make sure I shield them from seeing that part of it. But when it comes to anybody else's child or anybody, then that's not my problem. That's not my, even when it comes to family members, if you're offended by it, that's not my problem.
And I feel like it depends on who you are. If you are an influencer, if you are a rapper, a singer, a model, a pastor, teacher, those are roles in which people look at to gain some type of guidance. Sometimes, not everybody, but children mainly are looking at these things and shaping how they move forward in the world based off of people that are in the limelight. Now, me personally, as an individual, I can't be concerned about how somebody receives who I am, because I'm not standing on a platform where I put myself out there to be received in any type of way. I'm a hairdresser. Either you like how I do a hair or you don't. My image has nothing to do with my career. But those that are out there to be an example in any kind of way have to be conscious of how they present themselves. The everyday person, probably not. And that's an individual thing. But definitely those who have set themselves up to be either accepted or followed should be conscious of how they present themselves, in my opinion. I don't know if anybody else agrees.
I think, going off of that, and I also saw a comment that just came through from Galen that everyone has a different definition of what a hoe is anyway. And,
the internet is acting.
What happened?
Because I'm out.
Her internet is acting up.
Oh, okay. Hopefully she can get back on. Mine was too. But yeah, so you could be naked and like she said, you could be a nudist, and that's just how you feel comfortable in your skin. And but and going off of what you were just saying is, how you're being perceived and how people see your actions and things like that. To me, Lori Harvey, we was talking about her before, is a prime example of for one, everyone has their own perception of whether or not she's a hoe. She's obviously known to been dating in the public eye. She's been talking to different celebrities, and then she got with Michael B. Jordan, and then everyone kind of felt some kind of way because she wasn't ready to be committed to him long term and get married and things like that. To me, that's a prime example of a woman who is doing her, and she's not trying to make it into a thing. She's not responding to any of the negative comments that she is receiving, because it's not her fault that she's in the public eye. Her dad is
right.
Harvy. So So, you know, and I don't fault her for that, because if that's her business, that's what she wants to do. And she shouldn't have to explain herself, because she's living her life. And to me, that's a good example on the flip side for the males. Now, granted, his situation was different because he was cheating, but Tiger Woods, to me, when they made him offer an apology because he got caught by paparazzi having multiple partners on the side and he was married, I would not have offered an apology. That's his personal life. He didn't invite y'all into that.
Right.
You know, and like you were saying, because he was, you know, in the all American sports, you know, golf, you know, he had people looking up to him and stuff like that. But that's not, he just wanted to play golf, get money from it. He had his own problems or whatever, and wanted to have all these women on the side, and he got caught up. And then he was made to offer a public apology when they invaded his life. And I think that's to me, that's where I feel like if I'm going to do hoish activities, that's my business. I don't really feel the need to justify myself. And to me, in a sense, that's kind of what the whole culture to me is doing, is you're doing hoish activities, but you're trying to make a movement out of it and justifying I should be able to do what I want to do because men do it. And it's like, I really wouldn't care what anyone thinks. So if I'm not putting it out there myself.
So and I purposely did not mention athletes for that reason. Because at the end of the day, they're still people. Right. They're just under a microscope.
Yeah.
And they have not set themselves up in a way to where they want to be looked at a certain way. They just want to play basketball. Tiger just want to play golf. He could have some issues with infidelity that stem from wherever they stem from. That ain't got nothing to do with golf. Ain't got nothing to do with golf at all. So certain individuals, like I said, they're just under a microscope. They didn't ask to be looked at. But people that set themselves up to be, you know, examples should be examples. But to the point of Lori Harvey, she is the prime example of not judging somebody based off of them being in the limelight. She didn't ask for it. She didn't ask for it at all. She don't even, like, what does she, not trying to be funny, what does she do? I don't know what her career actually is. And I feel like we only see her, like you said, because her father is famous. And she hasn't made a declaration that she was the savior of young women or young girls her age. She didn't say anything about that. She's just living her life out in the open.
You know, honestly, I was rocking with Lori Harvey for a minute. I was like, you know what? She's young. This child is like in her early 20s. She's young. She's living her life. You know, at least she's being honest with these men. Like, I really feel like she's being honest and saying, all right, your time is up. I didn't spend enough time with you and I got to move on. And I feel like, you know, I was rocking with her until she went from the son to the father. When it went to the borderline of when she was with, I think, Christian Combs, and then popped up on the boat all snuggled up with Diddy. And I was just like, at that point, I was like, okay, I think she's definitely fishing for some type of attention at this point. And really, if you know the backstory of her mom, then you'll know that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Her mom definitely is the type of person that's going to go out there and get it. She's going to find out where the money is and she's going to go and she's going to get it. And she's going to make sure she secures the bag every single time. So I definitely feel like Lori being the baby of the bunch, she spent more time underneath her mom. And I think she's kind of learned some of the ways of how to do that, because Lori is not walking away from all of these little miniature relationships empty handed. She's definitely leaving with something as a souvenir. She could be a serial dater. But I just feel like when it came to, like, when we mentioned Lori Harvey in the chat, along with the whole culture, I was rocking with her. And then boom, when she did that, I just said, I'm gonna have to take a step back, like, and probably have to agree with Future and say she for the streets.
I forgot about that. I
Right.
forgot about that. Now that was, yeah,
And
that was,
if you know
yeah.
about her mom, did you know that her mom actually was with, I think, two brothers, if I'm not mistaken. I think the story is something about the Lori's dad, if I'm not mistaken, was like this huge kingpin, and he ended up getting all his time. And not long after the dad got sentenced to like kingpin time, like life or something like that, um, she ended up shacking up with the brother because he was like next in line and like I guess the family business. Yeah. So
Mm.
so to me it's kind of like, well, I mean, mom did it, so she had to learn it from somewhere.
And that goes back to the point of the raising of these little girls dressing provocative and showing them certain things. We see the outcome of it.
Right.
We
Right.
see that.
But you know what? I will say this though. I am very happy that Lori Harvey has not let in the whole culture of society and change her views on how she should look physically. She has not gone to have any work done. Now she may have gotten drastically small, because she went on that whole Pilates eating, 3 cubes of cheese a day and some water crackers. I don't know what she said her diet was. I think she like takes in like 900 calories a day and so whatever. But
What?
she didn't let that influence her on doing what a lot of other limelight people have done, in order to keep
Right.
their self relevant.
Right.
She didn't go get body work done to stay relevant. She just dated a father and son. So
Yeah, I think that's actually a good segue because that's another issue I kind of have with the whole culture is that women are putting themselves out there now. They take pictures and stuff like that of their bodies, naked or half naked, whatever, and it's starting to change what people find ideal and a body image or what looks sexy, what looks attractive. So this is actually and I don't know if whole culture has something to do with this particular statistic, but as of 2020, apparently surgeons performed 40,000 butt augmentation procedures, and they brought in $140 million worth of revenue off of that. And they
Mm.
BBLs or Brazilian butt lifts increased by 90.3% between 2015 and 2019. And I'm sure that number is still going up in 2022.
right.
And
Oh
what
yeah.
I found interesting is that this statistic, they didn't break down like, whether it was men or women, because I feel like we talked about earlier, there are both men and women who are doing these
Yep.
procedures. Now, most of them are probably women. Hold on, I'm gonna have to use my computer because it's a little loud. But women are definitely doing these surgeries, and I think that it's based off of what people find.
Uh-oh.
There's a lot of body shaming going on. Is it too loud? Hold on, let me excuse myself. But yeah, I think that the body there's a lot of body shaming going on for both for just natural bodies, for skinny women, heavier women, both sides. Basically, if you are not built like an hourglass, then you get
Right.
then you're not really considered attractive. So and I think that that's leading to a lot of the surgeries. Lil Kim is definitely an example as of late when she went on, what was it, the BET Awards, and
Right.
people haven't seen her in a long time, and even celebrities were shocked by what
Right.
they saw, and it was bad. It was bad, but yeah,
But has anyone seen the article or like the video of why she said she got the body work done?
yeah.
Um,
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, I think it was like some years ago, and it was mentioned, and she did an interview where she said that she was just called ugly so much. She said she just kept getting called ugly, and people, guys would be like they didn't want to talk to her, they didn't want to deal with her. And yeah, and so she just got picked on so bad. But it's so funny because it's like such a it's like a lot of hypocritical men out here when it comes to that, because I
Oh
see
yeah.
on my Facebook page every single day men will post something saying where the natural bodies at, bring back the natural bodies. I don't mind the stretch marks, I love the stretch marks. But then when they post videos of girls shaking their ass who had their bodies done and stuff like that, and that's like every other video. So it's like, well, which is it? Because the men come down so hard on us for not knowing what we want. But when it comes to that, it's like I'm not understanding, like, what is it that you really want? Is that what you're just admiring for the moment? But
Right.
really, is that what you're attracted to? Because I got a few men on my Facebook page who I have seen their girlfriends, I have seen their significant others. They look nothing like the videos of these girls that they're posting constantly on social media.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's also what's contributed to people like Little Kim and other who who have gotten their bodies done because of such things like that. Because men don't realize the level of a woman's confidence that they hold. Because this is the thing, to really be honest, we were created to be loved by a man, to be seeked by a man. That was what we were put on this earth for. It was started out Adam and Eve, and that's how it was made. Now, as time goes on, men have fallen for men, women have fallen for women, and that's whatever, that's their choice. But when we were developed and created from the first woman, we were put on earth to be nurtured and loved and seeked out and sought out by men. So that's just a human nature for us to want to be attracted to a man. So to have a man sit up here and bash us for having stretch marks or for being, over a certain size limit and then you turn around sometime later and say, no, but I love the stretch marks. I'm confused.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They'll glamorize the whole culture.
Right.
But then when it boils down to it, they're not going to date those women. We see what they date.
Right.
They'll throw up the videos, they'll throw up the pictures, share them in the group chats and all of that. But we see the women that they're with, and we're like, okay, so which one is it? Are you just saying that you like both? Because it's okay to say that you like how somebody looks,
Right.
but if you just don't plan on picking that person, that's okay too. But you have to glamorize both sides of it. You can't just put up the girls that have gotten the BBLs or the girls who have actually worked out and got their bodies right without putting up the flip side too. But just
Right.
saying, oh, I like the stretch marks, I like the curves, I like a little stomach. But that's not what you're posting.
That's
That's
not
not
what
what you're
you're
sharing in your
posting.
group chat.
Yeah.
And this
And
this
that's
And
not
I've
what you
called
do.
out a lot of men.
is
I called out a lot of men who have made advantages at me. And I'm like, but every other post you post, that don't look like me. So why did you want me? Like, I'm not understanding. What is it about me? But I mean, and I will say this though, for any man that I've ever dealt with who, I've looked at their significant others and they're dealing with me and we look totally different. And they may have had a better body than me or whatever might have stood out for them. I can definitely say that it was because of my personality. And that's because I play more on my personality than my body.
Mm-hmm.
But I get so tired and fed up with men who do stuff like that. And I think that somebody put it in the chat and said that women do that too.
Where?
We body
Because
shame
any man that
men.
I'm posting that look a certain way, I want to date him too. So I'm not posting something that I wouldn't date.
Exactly. Because any man that I've ever posted, trust and believe, at some point or another, I've dated a man that looks just like that man that I have posted or something like that, because that's always been my type. Because I have a type, and I'm not ashamed, because I feel like everybody should have a type. You're
You
entitled
should.
to your type, and so I have my type. But I'm just trying to figure out where, because I don't know who it was to put in the chat and said women do it too.
Ralph.
I would love a prime example of that, because I've never heard a female body shame a man.
Oh, here he comes.
Come
What?
on in.
Oh,
Come
here
on
he
in.
comes.
What? You
We
ain't
Yes.
don't
never
body
heard a
shame.
woman body
I
shame a
mean,
man.
Mark can definitely. I don't hate to put you out there, Mark, but
Come
he's definitely been
man.
body
Well, I
shamed.
don't have no control to kick him out.
Listen,
For one,
man.
when Wait a second. Are we able to sham in?
I mean, y'all here.
I done pulled up.
You here.
I done pulled up. I'm
I
ready to
see.
start some shit.
I see. For one, I'm sorry, but when it comes to that, not every guy is into that shit. I hate to say it, but it depends on who y'all follow. Like, you know what I'm saying? If y'all following them no good motherfuckers who's saying like, oh yeah, I just want the woman with the stretch marks, but that's all they posting is the Instagram models, then that's on the people you follow. I don't mean to say it like that. I'm sorry, but what I'm saying is I don't see no females ever posting dead bodies, fat niggas at barbecues and shit. I don't never see it unless the nigga got money. Unless the nigga like Rick Ross or somebody that's like really got money, then I see a shirtless fat guy somewhere.
Talk that shit, Mark.
But if he's just like at working at Home Depot, like the garbage man or something like that,
Talk
he don't
that
get no
shit.
love. The garbage man don't get no love. The goddamn nigga, the nigga
I
can
done
get grass
posted
don't
some
get
thick
none.
men.
I was about to say I
post
have
a
been
thick
seeing
man.
some posts.
Now,
I've
listen
been
to me.
seeing some posts about with some women showing some chunkier guys, and they be saying it's time for the winter and stuff
For
like that.
real.
But
Like,
this is
you
what
know,
I'm saying. This is what I'm
right,
saying.
but it's time for the winter. That's a
yeah,
situational
the
thing.
snuggly,
Yeah, when
you
it's
big
time
and
for,
warm.
like y'all got the seasonal fat nigga.
Right,
Like, y'all got
exactly.
the
What
seasonal-
about the year round?
And
Look,
y'all,
I
wait a
see it in
minute,
the
and y'all
summertime.
don't.
I
And
know
y'all
I see it in the
don't, because it's
summertime.
always been
Y'all
known
definitely
that
do.
cuffing season was to go get you a fat chick, because that's the one that's going to keep you warm, keep you warm in the winter, give you shade in the summer.
Hey,
Listen to
I
me.
I
This
ain't
is what
never
I'm saying.
said that.
This is what
I've
I'm
been
saying.
fat enough for both.
It don't apply for everybody. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you say y'all, I'm not speaking for them niggas. I'm not gonna speak for them motherfuckers. Like you're not gonna speak for this same girl who want Jason Momoa. Like I could drop names, and y'all gonna be like, ooh, woo, woo, woo. But then I'll drop some other people's name, and y'all gonna be like, who is that? Because that's how it is. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just
shit.
and that's just in simple. Some people, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I hate to say it, I would love the girl to look at me and be like, oh, he got a dead body. I want to just do everything to him. But no,
Never.
I'm gonna look at the nigga in the hoochie shorts. She gonna look at the nigga in the hoochie shorts.
Hey, look, let me tell you something.
I'm
Let me
definitely
tell you something, right?
looking at the man in the hoochie shorts. Absolutely.
Hoochie Daddy.
Yes, I
Let me
am.
tell you something
I
now,
like
right?
nice legs, damn it.
I
I'm
can
looking
put on
at
some
the man in
Hoochie
the
Daddy
hoochie
shorts
I'm
too.
not ashamed about it.
I can put on some Hoochie Daddy shorts too. But what
It
you
won't
see
fit, bro.
on motherfucking Facebook ain't gonna look the same on me.
They gonna think you Spicy Adams.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be out here looking like my Hoochie Daddy shorts gonna look like boxers. You know what I'm saying? That's just how my body's built. You know what I'm saying? But what, like Mark said, y'all ain't posting the fat niggas unless it's the wintertime. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it's fat
Or
nigga
you got
season.
money. Or you got
Time
And
to
I'm
money.
gonna
warm
say,
up. Or you got that bread. Go ahead and get you a sugar
I'm gonna
daddy.
be real with you. I mean, I personally like big guys. I've always dated big guys. But I'm gonna tell you this right now. It's not a lot of pictures
I'm about to say the
surfacing
same
of
thing.
some
I
really
like
well
those.
put together big boys. I'm sorry, big girls take care of themselves, because
Facts.
unfortunately they feel like they have no choice but to keep themselves up all the time, because or else they're gonna be known as the fat nasty chick. You know what I'm saying? Who ain't never got a hair done, ain't never put a face on, she don't look like nothing. But men, on the other hand, don't care what they look like half the time, and
I
they will just go
disagree.
and look like
Okay,
anything.
now hold on.
110%
I
disagree.
disagree.
Like something, yeah, he deserves credit to be posted. I would
Well,
post him.
okay, I'm not gonna lie. I will admit that I do feel that men they don't get their body types that they come in do not get represented as much. To me, my very first time I've ever seen a huskier man body in like advertising clothes and stuff like that was what was it, Rihanna's Fenty line.
Savage, Fenty.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, that was the first time next to Fashion Nova. I think Rihanna did it first, when I'm mistaken, and then everybody started following. That was the first time I've seen a chunkier man modeling boxers. Any other time, it's always a guy with a six pack, and we don't think nothing. I don't even think the men think nothing of it, to be honest with you, because y'all just shopping to get y'all clothes or whatever. But that was the first time I've honestly seen that, and nobody made fun of them, not that I know of. But it was just the fact that was the first time that I've ever seen a huskier, burly man model.
So look,
boxer.
can I touch on what Alex just said though? Like dead ass, bless you.
Thank you.
Like dead ass. Why can't y'all like both? That's just like us, right? Don't get me wrong. Do we see the skinny chick and the thick chick? We can like them both.
Oh, I
I
love
know
them
I
all.
do.
I love them
Right.
all.
I love them all.
I don't. I'm not about to sit up here and lie. I ain't even.
I love them all.
Hell no. Hell
Listen,
no.
now,
Single.
listen,
No.
listen. Now, don't get me wrong. Doesn't mean I don't have worries, right? I like a skinny model chick too. She looks cute and everything, but at the same time, I'm like, damn, I'm kind of fat. I break her in half. I don't want to deal with that type of problem, so I go on the thicker side of things.
That's right,
You know what
Ralph.
I'm
Put
saying?
your belly on her back.
You know
But
what
this
I'm
is what I'm
saying?
saying. This is my
Exactly.
point.
You know what I'm
Now, this
saying?
is what I want to make
You
clear.
ever had the back of your back warmed up with a tire on top? I'm trying to tell you, boy.
Now, this is what I'm
You better
saying.
get it
Now,
figured out.
now, listen to me. I disagree. Okay, not every fat nigga don't take care of himself. I'm telling you, I done seen, and it's kind
That's
of,
facts too.
I feel bad for saying this, but I did see a fat vegan, and in my mind, I was like, how the fuck is he fat? But that's beside the point. He was eating better
It's
than I
very
was.
possible,
You know what I'm saying?
actually.
He was eating better than I was. He was eating way better than I was, and he was fat, but he was like muscle. You get what I'm saying? So you can't just like it's a few, like I said, some heavy. Let me stop saying fat. It's some heavy set women and guys that decide to eat burgers. What's that girl's name? Lindsay? Like Lizzo. Look at her.
Lizzo.
Lizzo is happy with herself. She's happy with herself.
Yeah, that's fine. No,
She showed
no.
everything,
Wait a minute. Real quick.
but when she eats, when you see her eating and stuff, she eating all type of sloppiness or whatever, and that attests to saying all girls sometimes they don't take care of themselves, just like you said some of these fat niggas don't. Well, big bone niggas. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta separate. Like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta separate. Because
I don't think Lizzo is happy with herself though.
Me
I don't
either.
think she's happy
I
with
don't think
herself
she
because
is
she's
either.
trying to prove
She
too
put on a good
hard
front.
that
She put
she's
on a good
happy with
front.
herself.
You put on a good
I
front.
think
I don't
she's
think
fallen
that-
into this culture. She's fallen into, she's trying to be accepted by this culture, by the whole culture.
It was just like
Okay.
That's
Monique.
what
But
it
you know what
is.
though?
Like, look at
I
Monique.
mean,
Monique did the same thing. She was all fat women
Oh,
all
you're breaking
together.
up.
She got in that gym
Wait a minute.
and turned her back on you fat motherfuckers.
Now I'm gonna have to agree with one comment that just came up. I gotta agree with one comment that just came up though, is that we all can agree that we like both different in general, that there's some appreciation for both body types, just generally speaking, but there is a point where one body type is put on a pedestal over the other, and that was Sharice Bright comment that just came up. Yeah, I do agree with that, is that we do like both body types, and I mean we as in like this just people in general, but there is a point where one body type, especially today, is put on a pedestal. And to me, that hourglass shape with the big, no matter how real or fake it is, fat asses and the skinny waist is what's being praised right now. And that's and you know, and when you do see a natural body woman being praised, like or posted or whatever, it's like I mean, you know, it happens, but you could just see it in the comments what's being more so gravitated towards these days. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's the natural, like what's that rapper Benzino's daughter, Koi?
Yeah.
Coi
Yeah,
Leray.
like, she posted a picture of her in a bikini and people were going in. They said her body like a 10-year-old boy. Any guy who wants to be with her is probably a pedophile. But if Cardi B or someone else, like where her body type posts a bikini picture, oh, that's a real woman. Like, you know, so it is definitely one body type preference over the other in general. Like, you know,
But absolutely, I think that's the way that they sell products. That's marketing with any and all of these companies. I'm with you on that one, because I was getting ready to say back to her comment of why can't we like both. I don't like all body shapes, and I'm an advocate for thick to husky men. I can't do the skinny men either. But you know, when it comes to like Coi Leray, I felt so bad for her because she's really trying to be accepted for the natural person that she is. And she can't help that her body growth has stopped at where it is. You know, some people are not made to have big breasts and things like that, and wide hips. And so she's really trying to be out there for people to see who she is as an artist. And she wants to wear bikinis just like anybody else wear bikinis. And so for her to just get dragged through the mud the way that she did, I really felt bad for her, you know. And I think
No
that that's
comments
what
bring
also.
flashback for me.
I
I was
don't
so
mean to
hurt
be
when
rude.
I
I
was
don't
reading
mean
the
to be
comments.
rude. I don't mean to be
Huh?
rude or mean or nothing like that. But if your G string look like a slingshot, it's hard for us to look at you in a sexual manner. But if you're like, I'm just telling you, okay, look. Social media is a beast. We all know that social media is a beast. You have to be like smart consciously of what the fuck you posting. If you got a body where it won't hold up to the other ones, I mean, granted, you can be confident, whatever. But once you post it, you enter the battlefield. That's just what it is. You enter. I don't give a damn if you like. I've seen this too. I got a friend. He's in shape, and he posted a picture. The first thing they said is, "Oh, that nigga gay," and he like, "Damn," and he was mad. But I'm like, "Well, your Hoochie shorts, your balls is hanging out the left side of your shorts. Maybe they think you doing something that you shouldn't be doing." But he got to defend himself once you put that image out there. So we got to be mindful of what social media is capable of doing. They can put anybody to shame. I don't care how comfortable you are. I don't care what you feel like in your skin. The internet will put anybody to shame because of how it is done. So you have to be mentally prepared to enter anything. Like I said, you probably could put on the best thing in the world and think you look fabulous. But you're going to encounter about 3,000 people that's going to think otherwise. Like going back to the topic, hoish. You got a lot of women that probably post something because they feel confident in what they're wearing. They feel happy in what they're wearing. But once it hits the internet, we going to have, she's a hoe. And it's not me that says it. I don't do that at all. But you're going to have 30,000 people plus that's going to believe. You get what I'm saying? They're going to look at that. They're going to take away her smarts. They're going to take away her education. They're going to take away her kids. All of that. That don't matter. None of that matters because now she's posted up with a bra and a nice bikini because she just felt good. She probably worked out all winter to get this body. It's the summertime. Oh, I did this. She's a whole instantly when she hit that internet. It doesn't, but that's what I'm saying. A lot of people step into that realm not prepared for what's going to come. You got a lot of hoes that's actually doctors. And you got a lot of doctors that's actually hoes. But we don't know because it's the imagery.
I mean, I think that the bikini picture is like, I think anybody who posts a bikini picture, again, that goes down to is everybody has a definition of what a hoe is or what are considered hoish activities. And I think most people can agree that posting a bikini picture isn't a hoish activity. It's a bikini. But right. Like, I think the unfortunate part when that happens, now that's just different because if you post up a picture of your bikini and one body gets shamed over the other, that's my personal issue is that everyone is going to get shamed in some way, shape or form. Like, yeah. But there is always going to be that one body type that cannot wear a bikini without getting harassed. And that's just what it is. And I feel that plays into everyone staying in their own lane, but I know that social media makes that yes. People can't mind their business anymore. Like soon as you see something that you don't like, you have to let it be known that this person
don't like it.
You don't like it. And it's just like, and I'm not gonna lie, when I read her comments in her bikini, me being on the skinnier side, I was like, damn, like I took it personal. I said, okay, well, she ain't got no big hips and no big, and that's what I mean. Like it affects everybody else because even though I'm not posting a picture of myself in a bikini, right. I'm seeing someone else with my body type wearing a bikini, right. And it's getting shredded apart. And so, and it could make me feel like maybe I need to go get a BBL. And or maybe I need to go ahead and go under the knife so I can look more like this person and not that person. So that's the unfortunate part that social media has it has an impact on people. And someone else made a comment that it's affecting mental health and your self-esteem and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's just
just real quick, I didn't know what the hell a BBL was until like last night. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Somebody said something. What the fuck is a BBL? I didn't realize it was a Brazilian butt lift. That's crazy as hell. Like,
well, you know what? I think a lot of it comes back from when people lack understanding of what they offer from themselves. A lot of women who go and get body work done feel like that's all they have to offer because they've been looked over in other areas of life. Yes, I'm very intelligent. Yes, I hold a great job. this and the third, because men ask this old age question about what is it that you bring to the table. And we can sit up here and say all these other things like, oh, I bring, education, I bring understanding, I bring this to the table. And then they'll say, well, what else? And then it makes the female sit up there and look like, well, what else do I need to bring? And then I think that that's also what goes down the line of crushing a woman's self-esteem. Back to what I said initially, that men don't understand the power that they hold, because we were put here, we were created for them. They were created for us, and men don't get that. And then the lack of accountability about them, holding this certain level of power to our self-esteem. And it comes from our fathers, it comes from the male examples in our life, down to the men that we try to date and things like that. And men will not take accountability of it, like, oh, well, you should already have self-esteem when I meet you. Okay, I did. But when you turned me down because I didn't have a big enough butt, you crushed some of that self-esteem. Like,
But
men
I
don't
think
understand that.
I
But
think
men would
that's
not be able to
situational.
handle it if a female said, let me see your dick before we get into this. Before we even talk any further, let me see. Put it on the table. If it can't reach the table, I can't deal with you.
Bam.
Now look, now that's what I'm saying. Now that's
Put it on the glass.
kind of cold blood. Now listen to me.
Put it in the glass.
Put it in the glass. Goddamn, put it in the glass.
Now that's what I'm saying. Now, and you know something, I'm gonna step into the accountability thing. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna speak for myself. If anybody else that want to feel like I'm speaking for them, that's awesome. I'm happy for you, because if a girl say pull my dick out, it's probably gonna hit in the forehead. But aside from that,
I want to hear that.
What happens is my whole point of accountability is sometimes us as men get confused. Now just listen to me. Let me say this. Sometimes we might want that independent woman. Sometimes we might want that woman that could take care of herself. No, listen, Mel, don't you do that. Don't you do that. Now listen to me. Now sometimes we might want that. Sometimes we do. But in today's society, a lot of guys don't take an account of, and it's sad because, like I said, I'm speaking for just me myself. We might want that independent woman. We might want all that stuff, but when you get that stuff, it puts you in a situation where you have to do at least what she's doing. And in some guys' cases, they feel like they have to do more than what she's doing because they're a man. Yep. So you get a girl, say for instance, that has her own house, has a business, got a car, the whole nine. He's stepping into that realm where he has to kind of one-up her in a way because he's a man. You get what I'm saying? Because that's just in our genes, that's in our DNA. We might be attracted to that independent woman, but in our DNA, it's going to play a role when that woman's bringing home the bacon and we in the kitchen cooking. It's going to play with us. But that's where we get confused at. That's where we get confused at. Now, when we do get that independent woman, when we do find her, unfortunately, that's when the man gene kick in. And sometimes we do feel.
So it's intimidation.
Self-esteem.
It is.
Our self-esteem goes
it's
down.
The same thing.
It goes down because say this. Say we got a good job. We come home with $1,000 a week check. Just $1,000. You come home with a $3,200 check. I mean, we looking like, damn. Okay, what am I not doing? Because unfortunately, our dick ain't gonna provide the lifestyle. We can't just base everything off of just, oh, we got good sex, and that's because we don't go in relationships with that mindset. We're men, so mentally we want that. We want an independent woman, but our man gene kicks in, and sometimes it sets us back, and it plays with our self-esteem.
But just like you say, we're responsible for your self-esteem in times too. Y'all are for us as well.
We gotta play. We gotta
be at another level, just like y'all are. So, and I am not going to try to speak for everyone because I do know there's a lot of people out there. I got a lot of friends out there. That's all they want. They want the stripper chick, and then they wonder why. Oh man, she fucked me over and she fucked with my man. It's like, well, you met her at the strip club. I mean, you got the chick you thought you wanted because she was pretty, but she ain't had nothing else to offer but vagina.
You know, it got a lot to do with ego. I'll put that out there too. It got a lot to do with ego as well. I hate to say it. Us men do got big egos. We do. And if we're with someone, look at that. There you go. Oh, I'm so glad I said it before she got there. We do got big egos, and that do play a role. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, what's going on, China? But at the end of the day, like I said, I want to take accountability because sometimes we do fumble the bag. We do end up with a Beyonce. We do end up with a Beyonce.
All right, hold on. Number one.
we do sometimes fumble the bag, bro.
Okay, so I want to give a shout out to China because I did watch that last episode of P Valley. That was fire. That's number one.
Hey, China.
And secondly, my boys is talking facts. I was gonna stay in the background, but the women, this is y'all show. Don't let them take over.
Hey, no, shut up, dog. Listen, they ask for opinions, we giving it. Okay.
I'm just
I
saying.
honestly said that I wanted the men to definitely come in and chime in, you know, because like I said in the chat that when we get these body works done and when we do all this stuff, we're really doing it for the attention of a man. So I can't speak from a man's perspective of if he actually likes it or not, if it's something that actually fuels his interest in a woman for her to have a body a certain type of way. So that's why I really wanted the men to chime in and come in and give and put their 2 cents in there.
Yo, but so here's the other thing too, though. Like, I mean, I can't speak for them, but it may look good on paper. Like the pictures may look good, but that's not what I want. I don't want nobody that's fake.
On the other one.
Right.
But
I don't want nobody that's fake.
But somebody made a point. I've seen this comment a few times that it is that what's in style is definitely based on a timeline, because at one point the same girls who are getting praised were probably being made fun of a couple years ago. Because there was this one girl, I actually had a conversation with her, and I'm not gonna lie, her butt is humongous and it's hers. And she got made fun of at one point because they were calling her fat and and all this. But now she said it's weird because people will just be like, "Ooh, can I touch it?" Like they like it now, and she's like, "This is weird." And so I don't know what women are, and that's the unfortunate part, because that's how strong how sensitive the self-esteem is. Because one minute was being praised, you can have all the confidence in the world, but as soon as that's no longer the thing, it's like now you starting people going under the knife to get it changed. So I'm like, when you get these butt implants and stuff like that, when that's not in, what you gonna do? Deflate it? Like it's like it's done, and it's sad because it's like.
Okay. Well, that's very true. That's very true. That goes to that's it right there, because you can't ask more of something you're not able to offer yourself. That right there ticks me off so bad when it comes to men. When I see men put things on the table about what they want from a woman. Oh, I want a woman who takes accountability. Or I like a woman who has a nice body. Do you have a nice body? Because I need to see it. Take that shirt
but
off.
I think that's the problem. Is this on? Like, I think that's the problem as well. That it's on both sides. I see women, and I hate to bring him up because he was another problem in himself. But Kevin Samuels was talking to a lot of women who were making these high demands, and he had to and I'm not gonna lie, it was one girl that I kind of was like looking at her a little like, okay, look,
the one that was built like a football player.
I don't know, but if you built like the uppercase letter P, that's the issue.
I think that happens on both ends as well, where someone is asking for all these demands and then they can't do the same thing, and it's like women who want.
But that goes back to you. That goes back to you though. Like if a man's making that type of demands and that's not what that's not what y'all came to the table with, then that should be an instant. Well, you know what? This ain't who I need to be with. I'd be damned if I come into a relationship and saying, hey, look, we've been talking for a couple of weeks, but, I really need you to go ahead and slim a little bit down. You know what I'm saying? See if we can get your titties perked up a little bit. Like, who the fuck am I? You know what I'm saying? I came at you because you were you from the beginning. I'm not trying to change you later on.
But you have to understand, there are men out there that like to play the Mattel game. They like to dress women up. They like to put them together. There are a lot of men that are out there like that. They will see what they consider to be not the prize in the beginning, but they can change her. They can make her this and the third. And then they hold that over a woman's head. You weren't nothing before I helped you get this. You didn't have anything before I got you this. There are a lot of people out there like that.
Like Stevie J, I'm going to take you back to the strip club.
I'm going to take you back to the strip club. And waved his hand like, come on.
Hey, but see, that's the female's fault though. But tell me how it's not. Tell me how it's not. Tell me how it is. Tell me how if a man tells you, if a man tells you you need to look like this once y'all got together, why are you sticking around?
That's a good question. That's
Why
a
did you?
good question.
Why did?
But
why
no,
did
I
you
think
bring
But
up
I'm
that?
gonna tell you the
I
truth.
think
The
the
truth
problem
And don't
is,
get me wrong. I know
no,
we can
no.
run
I
game,
think
and we
how
sound like that's what we want. Like we wanted the original you to begin with,
no,
and
I
then we
think
run
I
game and try
think,
to switch it. But that's up to you in the game.
but
Turn that motherfucker
no.
off, unplug it.
Hold on. I think where it becomes the fault of the man, and it can go, I don't know, I don't really agree with it necessarily, but I can see how someone could think that once you leave, that doesn't mean that your self-esteem wasn't hurt. So that's
Right.
kind of like what happened with Lil' Kim. She left her relationships after she didn't got left. Who was it? I think it was Biggie or somebody else. She said all the men that she was with was cheating on her with women who looked different completely different than, and even though she left and she moved on with her life, it still played with her mind. So it unfortunately it had a long lasting effect. Now I'm not saying that I agree that that's necessarily the man's fault that she was with, but it does have a factor into it. Now, I will say that. Now, whether you stay or go, that's your choice. But once you leave, that doesn't mean that you're not going to carry that weight with you.
No, I
Right.
can agree
say
with
real
that.
quick.
I
I'm
can
gonna say
agree with
real
that.
quick to Ralph's thing is why do women stay? I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna be for real. Unfortunately, women stay with men who make these outlandish demands because we live and we work and operate out of potential. That's our biggest downfall as women. We do that. I have to be very honest. We will see a man and picture a life and put that man in that life, and that may not even have been our ideal man, but we will see that because at that time he's providing something that it is that we need. And so that's our problem right then and there. But then it also flips back to a man because it's like, why, if you are raised by a mother, born from a mother, have sisters and have aunts and stuff like that, why would you want to make these type of weird demands on a woman that really you're claiming you want to actually be with?
And
I
I
got,
gotta
I don't
say,
agree with
That
that.
comes with
I
that
gotta
comes
chime in.
with
I gotta chime in because once again, you're throwing this umbrella and saying, "Man, man, man." It's not all. These are
Well,
boys.
some men,
I hate to say it, these are boys. We don't even want to call them men.
no, I mean
A
we
boy
can all
will get
agree.
you. A
some
boy will get
male.
you, and he will manipulate you. A boy will manipulate a girl. Okay, let me make this very clear. A boy will manipulate a girl and tear her self-esteem down. Like that's just what's gonna happen. It's always happening.
Self-esteem, okay.
Yeah, stream,
Okay,
stream.
yeah,
Because it goes
stream.
down. We got to go down. Stream.
He went to Mumford.
Stream. So
Going
that's what I'm
live.
saying.
Oh
That's what I'm
my
saying.
God.
Once that happens, now I'm about to do the same thing what I just did. A boy and a girl get together. The boy wants her to change her lifestyle. She all toe down about it. If a man is with a woman, he ain't gonna want shit to change. He gonna want her to progress, to upgrade, just like she gonna want him to upgrade. And then if he give her some constructive criticism as a woman, she's gonna take it as constructive, just like if she gave him, the man, the constructive criticism, he should take it as so because he is a man. Now, unfortunately, we got a lot of boys and girls out there that's doing this, and that's what's confusing everybody. Because I ain't gonna lie, if I'm with somebody as a man and they like, yeah, Marcus, I was with you 2 weeks ago, and maybe you should get a six-pack. Since I'm a man, bitch, when you first got me at the club, I didn't think it was an issue. Same with girls, like just like girls. The girls can say the
This
same
nigga
shit.
got mad in 2 seconds.
She got 2 seconds.
That's bad. It's like if it's a girl, if you're a woman and you get with a boy, 2 weeks pass, this nigga like, yeah, baby, I was cooking, I was eating your food, blah, 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 and I noticed you might want to slim down a little bit. As a woman, you gotta say, nigga, why did you take me home then? Like, what are we doing? What are we
This is
doing?
what you got.
Now hold on.
This is what you
Some
got.
some relationships don't start out like that though, and I gotta say that because it's definitely possible for some woman or man to be in a boy or girl situation. So it's like, and that's definitely possible because there's always someone who got their shit figured out, got their shit together, and then they get in a quote unquote toxic relationship. How many healthy relationships do people actually know? I've seen so little in my 29.
There really are no healthy.
I was going to say,
what is a healthy relationship though? That's I feel like that's individual. That's
let me tell you,
situational.
in your
Like
29
somebody
years, you
else's
want to go find a
relationship.
healthy one.
Like you could look at somebody's relationship and be like, ooh, that's not healthy, but to them it's very healthy.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
but
It's
like,
smooth.
it could definitely. I'm sorry, I was trying to remember what I was saying at the same time, responding to the comment. But yeah, like to me, it just it's easy to start off with someone, and then they, it start off pretty cool or chill or whatever you find accepting of a relationship. And then, out of nowhere, certain things are to change. The people change. They might want something different. And they try to put that responsibility on the person that they're with. And they've been with each other for X amount of months or years. And they're like, wait, where'd that come from? And that's when the feelings get involved. So that's when you have a harder time leaving or staying and all of that stuff. And like Lauren was saying, you at this point, going off of what you thought of the person.
The wife is in here.
You looking at
I don't think that there's a such thing as a healthy relationship. I think that there's just I don't think that there's a healthy relationship, because if we really set down 10 couples and we peeled back the true layers of each of their relationships, you're gonna find some aspect of that relationship that's unhealthy as hell.
That's unhealthy. I agree.
So I would say like they have that standard of the perfect relationship, the perfect marriage. There's no perfect relationship. There's no perfect marriage. There's no healthy relationship. It's just a relationship that two people are trying their best, which I hope both people are trying their best to, to work at. But it's just a relationship. When you put these levels or these terms, these standard terms on what it is you have going on, you're going to fail from the very beginning. I want to have a healthy relationship. No, I want to have a relationship with someone who is going to accept me, who's going to understand me, and vice versa. It ain't got to be healthy. Because it's not going to be healthy.
But on this, tie in this relationship stuff with the title that you guys got. How do these two mix together? The whole culture and then relationship wise.
Well,
for one, there's a lot of women who are preaching.
I said I can help tie that shit together.
So you're more than welcome to show up. You're more than welcome to show up. Just top in.
Are you right? I'm not running the podcast.
I'm really interested in hearing what a man has to say about tying in whole culture to a relationship.
First, before the man say anything, let me just say this real quick. I just think it's odd that a lot of the women who are promoting whole culture in their own way, especially in the rap songs, they're in relationships. But go ahead. I just wanted to say that they are.
That's facts.
Yeah, and that's facts. I mean, the things with as far as relationships and the whole culture, how it can sometimes go together. A lot of times when you go looking for the one, you find them in that whole culture area, and you hope that you can turn them into something different. And some people like, oh, I'm not trying to turn a hoe into a housewife. Not everybody is just a hoe. Some people go through a phase. You know what I'm saying? Because no matter what you say, people go through phases. When you get out here, you maybe you've been hurt, or maybe you just out here like I'm trying to catch them all. You know what I'm saying? It's a phase. It's up to you to realize if it's a phase and if that's something you can see building the future with, or if you just gonna let that hoe be a hoe. You know what I'm saying? Or if you just gonna go off and do you.
Let me share me right quick.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong in my eye where you have something that you like and you're with that person. That's why you have this thing when you're in a relationship, you want to try something different, right? Some women say like you get with someone and a woman is never really dressed like that. She's always was raised a little differently. Then you meet a guy who kind of likes that slutty lifestyle, but he has good intentions on treating you right. But when you guys are together, then he kind of want to see that in you, just like maybe you want to see something different out of him.
All right, let me shimmy in. For one, let me get on the relationship thing. Like I said, it's gonna be good. I love this. For one, you should always, if you're in a perfect relationship, 9 out of 10, that shit won't last because.
There it is. Your sound just went off.
Lost your whole sound. Lost your whole sound. It sounded like you just went.
Okay, wait. Why?
Sound like you something he need to be saying anyway.
They still can't hear you.
You real low, Brody.
Hold on. Why he's doing it? Go ahead, Am. I wanted to address a comment Jasmine had made. She wanted to address the comment of no such thing as a healthy relationship.
I would love to address that.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Hold on.
Wait.
Hold on, Mark.
Okay, go ahead.
Don't get into no brother sister fight now.
No, kick this right here. Anyway, so she was saying that how is it not a such thing as a healthy relationship? I actually think that what we were saying was a healthy relationship, like as far as being able to communicate and accept each other for who you are and work things out, I think that is a healthy relationship. I think like what she was saying is that we're not trying to say healthy necessarily means perfect. Like there's no such thing as a perfect relationship. But I guess in a sense, what we were saying in a way was that is a healthy relationship is just whether you have problems or not. If you can talk through them and work through them, then that's one thing. But every relationship has some form of toxicity to me.
Yeah, every relationship has some form of unhealthiness. And what I meant by that was why are we using the term a healthy relationship? Let's not use healthy in it. You have a relationship. You're doing the best you can, the two of you, to make the relationship work. It should not necessarily be healthy in a sense. And then on top of that is it was a point that I was going to make. Okay, so let's just say this, piggyback off of this really quickly. Let's say you think you have a healthy relationship, right? You guys are working, you're paying bills, you're raising the children, you communicate, you're having fun, you watch movies, you go on date, you have a healthy relationship, right? But somebody financially is doing some things that shouldn't be done. Unhealthy. That's unhealthy. Like that's unhealthy. So you can't put on your relationship, we got a healthy relationship. No, you are making financial decisions that is harming and hurting your relationship, because in a sense you may just necessarily be thinking about yourself and not everyone that's involved. Unhealthy. You have an unhealthy behavior within your relationship. So don't go around saying you have a healthy relationship, because you don't. Right now you're in an unhealthy situation within your relationship, but you do have a relationship. That's what I meant by that. That's how I make sense.
And now I think that was my whole point, because in order to have any type of relationship, you need flaws. So y'all can learn to grow together with those flaws. There got to be some area to be fixed, to build and grow with that area. Now, when it comes to the topic at hand, going into relationships, I'm just going to be frank. The hoe is winning. And when I say that, I want y'all to hear me clearly. Listen to me. The reason why I say that is because hoes can go for both dick and pussy. It don't make you a hoe because you're a woman. We got hoe guys out there too. Now, this is what I'm saying when I say they win in relationships. Hoes don't turn off. So you might be with a faithful guy, it might be a faithful girl, but 24 hours a day, a hoe is gonna wake up in the morning, put on their whole job outfit, and try to take that faithful man or woman every day. And a lot of times, unfortunately, when we're in these relationships and those flaws come up, some relationships don't make it. And that hoe is, that hoe work 24 hours a day, whether man or woman. So you might be at the bar trying to take your little wine and, Tony just stressed me out. Guess who's going to show up? That hoe ass nigga. He going to sit there. Because he already on the job. Hey,
you right.
Mark, you know what, Mark? Mark, I have to agree with you.
Let me finish. He gonna break her fucking back. She gonna go back to Tony. That nigga limp noodle because he already having problems. He don't give a shit about her. Then guess what gonna happen with Tony? Tony gonna go to the bar next. Tony gonna have his drink with his boys. And then here come that hoe ass bitch. Hey! Putting his titties all in his face. Tony gonna be like, I just don't know what to do because
Amber, go turn his camera off.
Amber, I'm sorry, that's your brother.
She gonna go home. She gonna suck the soul out that man's spine.
I'm so used to this.
All right. Before we are an hour and 24 in, so let's get down. Let's get down to these pictures that Lauren, because we didn't touch them all. So we might as well name this and analyze the situation
that we did not touch on.
Lauren,
yeah, we might as well just analyze it. So let's get to it. All right, so here's one that Lauren sent me.
Yes. So I wanted to talk about this real quick because I wanted to show you, because she started her own television show talking about killer bods and how to save women because she had some serious issues that happened from her getting. So this is the black is what she used to be like. Right. And this is what she looks like now. Now, the weird thing about it to me is that she took and removed the implants. She removed the injections and all that good stuff so that she can have a more natural figure. But then she moved to plastic surgery on her face. Yeah. So it's like it never fails. And I sent you another picture. Look how she used to look and look how she looks now.
Man,
like it never fails. Like the low.
But you can't say that, Moan, because if you say that, Moan, that's exactly why she did that, bro. You saying?
Hey, but wait.
I can't knock it.
Here's but here's the
already
other
pretty.
problem, right? Here's the other problem, right? Yeah, she's already pretty. So was Little Kim, right? And sometimes plastic surgery does enhance for the
Yeah.
better, sometimes it enhances for the worse. Now, would I rather have the natural? Absolutely. But if what you're someone that met her after the surgery, then you're like, oh shit, damn, she's fine as hell. You probably would have said that the old way too, but you only know the new way.
But she was pretty regardless, though. Just
That's what
because
I'm
she did
saying.
that, she was
You know what I'm
pretty
saying? So
already.
you
Can I get with
can't
Galen
knock
on
that.
this? Can I
Huh?
get with Galen on this comment? How's the whole winning if they always searching? Can I get with that?
What?
It
What?
say
There you
how's the whole
go.
winning if they always searching? Because a
Who
hoe
said they're
don't get,
searching?
no, this is what I'm saying.
Right.
I mean, let me get to it. Let me get to what she said. A hoe winning because they don't want no relationship. They will break up a happy home and then move on to the next one. That's how
true.
they
They
win.
ain't searching for
They're not
nothing.
looking for shit.
Not
That's
right.
how
They
win.
trying to
They
be
win
free.
because- yeah, they're not searching for shit.
They
They
are
just want
free.
some dick and pussy.
They are free.
They
They
win
don't
it
care.
financially, though. I will say that they win it
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
financially.
win.
sometimes it come with collateral and everything like
That's
that. Sometimes it do. Sometimes it do come with collateral.
OnlyFans.
But they win because they're not looking for something serious. They will break up something serious to get what they want and then leave your dumb ass in the woods looking for your dick or your vagina.
Well,
All right, so let's
I
get.
agree with Mark. I believe that the whole culture is winning when it comes
They
to
winning.
relationships. I really feel like they are winning because they're 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 very submissive. And they're submissive in the ways that men like women to be submissive because they're not offering much more of anything else. They got the man because of the body and because they were they were willing to be sneaking around and doing all types of other stuff. So they got that man that way. Now, of course, he's going to come with demands and other things like that. She has no choice but to abide by it because she wants to keep the lifestyle that this man is providing. That's why the whole culture is winning because the hoes are willing to lay down, stay down, and deal with whatever. Whereas the women who have more standards, who are not a part of the whole culture, will be like, I ain't got time for that. The hoes are going to always win, and that's just that. And the more that us more civilized and well put together women realize that, the easier it'll be for us to coexist and move on to finding a man who's not necessarily interested in that type of life.
Yeah.
Instead of us trying to change the whole culture, the hoes gonna be hoes. Let them hoes be hoes.
Hey, but at
All
what
right, so let's
point?
get to this next one though that you had too.
Oh God,
So
not the
Yes,
Ninja Turtle.
look at that. And I
Not the
wanted to
Ninja
post
Turtle.
this picture
No.
of Donatella Versace because when we always talk about body enhancements, body
Donna who
surgeries,
button?
we never mention the white women who get it. And I think
That's a
that's
Yeah.
because
that's a
white women
woman.
get a pass on getting body surgeries and body enhancements. It's almost like it's an upgrade to their lifestyle and it is accepted. Whereas though black women get talked about so bad when we get our bodies done, as if it's not an element of advancement for us as well. And I wanted to bring this up how Donatella Versace, nobody ever talks about it. She looks absolutely horrible. Now she wasn't necessarily, the top of the cake from the very beginning.
I see a foot on the left and a foot on the
But look
right.
how she looks now.
I
I
think
see
I
a
think
Put
naked
that
foot
back
with a
up.
flip
those,
flop and a foot with a boot
a
on
lot
it
of
on
those
the other
bad
side.
Put that back up.
surgery. I think. Oh my God. I think when it gets to this
Googly
point,
boogly.
there's a thin line between doing certain body enhancements or plastic surgery to feel good about yourself or feel better or whatever. But it's another thing where it gets to the point where you're never happy with yourself, and then that's how. Oh my God. That is how she looked, though.
Oh,
Yo,
that
Oh
is
my
her.
God.
Hold on, Mark. Put that back up.
dog, like dead ass, bro.
Yeah, she
Like,
looked like.
Terrible.
Uh,
oh my
all right.
God, dog.
All right. So here's the
Okay.
one you said. This is the dude, right?
Yeah, this is
Oh
a
Lord.
dude who was very openly honest about actually getting work done because he's in the limelight. And he claims it's because he had his daughter and I guess he developed that dad, but no, it had nothing to do with that. It's because
He
he
didn't
was
carry
on
the
a
daughter. Well, in the
Uh,
nutsack.
no, no, no,
right.
no, no, no.
Wait,
I can
is he
speak on that.
trans or something?
No. If we remember Ronnie, he was on what's that?
Jersey
Jersey
Shore.
Shore.
Yeah.
Jersey
Mm.
Shore. So he was one of them Guidos that was on that show. And it was really
No, not
popular a
Guido.
couple of years back. And he was getting famous and he was very famous because of it. And since then, he's fallen off. He's not on anything anymore. Maybe a couple of reunion shows that they do, but he claims it's because, I had a daughter and he kind of got out of shape. No, I think it's more so because society is saying we can't put you back on television if you don't have the look that you need to have.
Hey,
Yep.
like you did before you had your child, when you was out there, all buff. Y'all was going to the gym for 4 and 5 hours a day on the show, and you know what I'm saying, things like that. So yeah,
Listen,
I
no,
just wanted to make sure I put
let
both
me
up
speak
there.
on that one though, because I feel like the same thing happened to me after we had Jasmine. And I know a lot of people are like, well, you didn't carry the kid and none of that. I was going to the gym before Robin had Jasmine. I was going to the gym 3 times a day. I lost a lot of weight. I was down to like 198. I was getting buff, stomach was getting flat, and then the baby came. Well, I stopped going to the gym because Robin needed help with the baby. And then I got a promotion. So I end up losing all the time I had for the gym because I wanted to make sure I was there for my family. And then plus I had things to do for work. Immediately I got fat. I'm talking about that shit. It felt like it took 2 weeks. A lot of people was like it took a couple months, but I felt like it took 2 weeks. But I get where he came from. He was like, yo, I didn't have the amount of time to put stuff towards on me, like take care of myself. So I was too worried about taking care of the family and doing shit for work. So, when you lose that, now you're not about to catch me doing no liposuction because it costs too much. And I'm trying to tell you, if I ever got a 6-pack, boy, it's gonna be a problem out here. I'm gonna be a whole situation my damn self if I ever get a 6-pack. But I'm not about to go out here and get no liposuction, right? Like it's just not worth it. Now for him, I get it. That's probably was his moneymaker, right? Like you just said.
It was.
No,
if you
I'm
know
not
that
putting you back
show
on
and you
TV.
remember him, his body was definitely the moneymaker. He was the big buff one, had the nice tone body. So yes, his body was the moneymaker at one point.
But
it was
then
him in
again,
the
you gotta look at
situation, wasn't it? Wasn't it the situation? I forgot his real name.
No. Mike was the situation. He was the one used to go with the crazy girl, used to beat him up all the time. They used to fight all the time.
because it goes for both guys and girls.
You
though.
sure?
Don't forget about Sammy Sosa. Look at that man. That was Sammy Sosa. I want y'all to pay attention.
That's true. That's
Sammy
true.
Sosa.
Yeah.
Yep, that's Sammy Sosa right there. Okay.
He don't look the same at all.
This is him now. Look at that shit. That man looks like Count Dracula.
Well, that's a
blah blah blah.
I will drink a blah. That nigga look like he
All right, so we got one more. I think we got one more picture, and then we can cut the show. And this is God's gift to Earth. She's the most beautiful thing alive.
So, now, do we accept? I brought because I personally feel like she looks phenomenal because she works out and she keeps the body up that she paid for. But does she get the same scrutiny that other women get who don't necessarily look as good, like Little Kim and things like that? Which she's clearly been very open and honest about that she's had body work done.
Oh, has she?
Because I feel like I was saying this before. I had to get my laptop charger, but I feel like when you do stuff like this in a way where it's just enough, like it doesn't look too crazy. I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't have been able to tell if she got anything done or not. But I think there's a point where you get certain things done to yourself to make yourself happy.
Ain't nobody tell you take that down. Put that back up there.
Y'all put it down. Put it down.
I didn't put it back up there, but
Alexander, listen, Alex and Robin, I'm not starting no trouble. You see, these are your men up here. I just sent the picture to have a topic on. I apologize to the wife.
They know they crazy.
I'm taking that to the wife and be like, you see, this is nice.
When it gets to the point, I swear to God, I'm gonna forget what I'm saying. I'm fighting because my memory is terrible. I'm sorry, y'all. But when it gets to the point where you do look like Lil' Kim, or the ones that went too far and it looks weird or it's obvious they got a lot of stuff done, is when you're never happy, no matter what type of surgery you get. You always want to do more. So that's what K. Michelle. She lost one surgery that she got and got it taken down. Then she did her face. Lil' Kim, she got hips added, she got butt added, she got boobs added, she got her face done, she got her skin lightened. Like, that's when you are just never going to be happy with yourself, no matter what you do. And I think that's why the picture we were just looking at, why no one really says anything. Because I know a girl who I worked with, she had got a BBL, but I wouldn't have never known, because it just looks. You could tell she just did just enough that was proportionate to her body, and it wasn't huge. It wasn't like just in another room somewhere, and it wasn't like that. She literally, it was proportionate to her, and it looked natural. So
not another room, though.
And I think when it gets to the point where you're not getting the attention you want out of it, or something that you're looking for, then you make it ridiculous to the point where it's obvious you got work done. Like The one we just was looking at, I wouldn't have been able to know. She just like she worked
I didn't
out.
know.
You said the one we was looking. Hold on, let me go back.
I
Y'all
thought
said
she
put it back up
denied
there.
it for a minute.
Y'all said put
I
it back
thought
up
she
there. I
was
heard somebody say
denying
put
it.
that back up there.
Said that.
Oh,
No,
okay.
she actually did. She did an interview, and she said she got her body work done by a doctor in New Jersey.
Okay.
Because she's originally from New Jersey. And so, yeah, she was very honest about it, which I can definitely appreciate. You know, unlike some other people who like to, you know, hide, throw the rocks and hide, you know, their hands,
Right.
stuff like that. Like we can't tell, you know, but it
Yeah,
is
if you
what
got
it is.
toothpicks as legs and then your ass is like 2 basketballs, bitch, you did not. There's not an amount of squats in this world that's gonna have that result.
At all. Yeah, out here
At
squatting
But that's
paint.
what with all of this, that's why mental health is so important. Even when you have any type of weight loss surgery, they send you to therapy first. They
That's
send you
what a
to get
lot
a
of
psychiatric
Very
evaluation first.
true.
And I think the same thing should go for these cosmetic surgeries because
they should,
9 times out of 10, most of them are doing all this stuff to themselves because it's something they can't do up here.
Right,
And
I
if they
right.
think
could take
that's
care of what was up here, they probably
yeah,
wouldn't care about the rest so much. But they
that's an
feel like if I
ethical
can look
problem.
good on the outside, I don't have to do anything on the inside because nobody can see that. As long as
And
I'm
that,
looking, my natural body is
that's
showing,
a ethical problem because it's
you
actually
know,
on the show called Botched. Now these surgeons do what they were
yep,
supposed to do. Not all surgeons
yep,
do that. They were
Right.
supposed to check them out mentally because
yep.
there was people on there who, just like I was saying, were never. It don't matter what surgeries they got, it just was never enough. They would come back for more and more, or the things they were asking for was ridiculous. Like, oh, I'm an A cup, but I want double D's, or I want, you know, I'm 107 pounds, but I
I
want
don't
my
know.
butt. Like they
But
would literally turn them away and say, look, they would not do the surgery. They would turn them away and tell them and they will recommend them to go see therapy. And whether or not they want to do that, that's on them. But then it's sad because they'll keep searching until they find that doctor who
Right.
just is like, they just want the money, and they'll go to the basement doctor, as they used to say back then, go to someone who just does it on the side just to get that surgery done. And so it is
Well,
sad
listen,
that surgeons are
I
not
had
doing
to start therapy, and and that's from my natural weight loss, and I needed to go to therapy because of it. I was already in therapy for other reasons, things like that, but I had to start gearing my sessions towards how to handle the fact that I had lost so much weight. Now, you guys don't really know me, but Ralph knows me. He's been knowing me for quite some time now, so Ralph has seen the amount of weight that I have lost in the past 2 years. And I'll be honest with you, I was not prepared for it. I was not prepared for what was coming with the weight loss and the muscle gain and the tone body that I'm starting to build. I wasn't prepared for what was coming behind that, because I've always gotten attention from people. I've only gotten attention from men who knew me. So they knew my personality. They knew, the things that I was offering, who I was, and they would be like, I'm attracted to who Lauren is. I never really got attention for my body. And now that I have lost this amount of weight, I'm getting attention for my body and not necessarily for what it is, who I am. And I
Yeah.
wasn't able to handle that. And it messed me up mentally to the point where I started to think, well, should I just go back and be fat again? Because I never got this much attention when I was bigger, when I was, 45 pounds, 50 pounds bigger. I never got this much attention. Nobody looked at me. Nobody wanted to spark conversations with me and things like that. And so I had to seek therapy because of it, because it was like I was fighting myself every day, behind it.
What you said made a lot of sense because I remember that show. I'm not sure if y'all do, but they used to have a TV show called The Swan, and they literally would take women it was basically a show based on plastic surgery. They would get women who had some feature they were insecure about, whether it was a nose job or like they had a deformity in their face or something like that, where they were getting teased and made fun of constantly on the constant basis. They would get these women randomly, put them in a big old house together, reconstruct their face, and and they said they couldn't have any mirrors or anything, so they couldn't see what they looked like throughout the week or however long it took time for them to heal. Then they eventually reveal themselves. They give them a makeover. They'll do their hair and stuff. And, a lot of them get emotional because they got this surgery done and, and they look different. But I think the show got taken off because they weren't doing what you were saying that they should be doing, which is getting therapy and things like that, because they were living their lives with this deformities or whatever they had on their face so long that once they were, I guess, pretty with based on society, they were actually, some of them were, I hate to say it, some of them turned out to be assholes. Like they were dicks because they was feeling like, yeah, they feeling themselves, but it was on a different level that they never been on before. And some of them got depressed because they didn't know how to take the attention. They were like, okay, I'm not being made fun of. People are coming at me. Like it was an interesting show, but I think they took it off for that reason. They said that they were not concerned about the contestants or whatever you want to call them. And yeah, they were going through it. So that's a good point.
All right, so you guys continue. I got to shoot a move, but I do want to do this before I leave. I know what it is.
We're hour
Like and subscribe.
It's been good, man.
Like and subscribe, please. It helps us get out there. Share. Tell your peoples. Get all that done. I gotta pee.
God damn, you fucking women stepped in, didn't y'all?
Yeah. So, Ralph hold it down, Mark hold it down. Ladies, keep holding it down. We would love to have this again, but keep it going. Y'all end it whenever.
All right, Brody. And for those that have jumped in, I know we don't usually run this long. Try to understand the background and the work that these ladies have put in within the past week. We threw this out there as an idea on a Sunday, and by Sunday about 9:00, they had everything figured out with a title, subjects, homework, the whole nine. The shit that takes us literally all 7 days to figure out, they had this shit done in like 3 hours. So big ups to you ladies, and without a doubt, this has to happen again. Like this is a great episode. I mean,
once a month, you know what I
we
mean?
usually
I definitely once a month, and give us at least like 3 weeks to prepare because y'all threw us in the lion's den. I was like, oh, we want
to hurry up. I got my
but y'all came up with
I'm about to say shit. We threw y'all lines then, but y'all made a motherfucking coat out that bitch.
Right, y'all came up with no stretch.
Okay,
no
hey,
stretch,
okay,
no
Mel. Okay,
nothing.
Mel. We got enough. That's enough.
No, but I did it. I most definitely enjoyed this episode, man. Next time, I might not even be doing the introduction. I'm gonna try to get with Lauren here within the next month. I'm gonna show her how to run the whole podcast. That way, me or Moan don't have to be involved. This can be the ladies segment. I'm hoping that we can add this to the repertoire. Of the things we have to come. And as we grow, things will get better. I do appreciate all those that have come by. I'm going to ask a very important question of everyone, including everybody on the podcast. Y'all want to keep this thing going or y'all want to end it? I don't mind either way.
I don't know. How many people we got in here?
You got 12 actively watching, but they keep bouncing back and forth. 12, 13, 15, 16, 11. It keeps going back and forth. This is usually what happens during the podcast. So,
they still here. We can keep going if you want.
Hey, well then I'm gonna fade back to black, and if I know Mark wants to stay on because Mark is ready to talk shit.
I'm about to say no. I'm gonna let the ladies have it, but I do want to give a shout out to Robin, Zoe, Galen, Anthony Brown. Most definitely. Thanks to everybody for coming in.
Hey, I saw my brother in here.
So
Michael's up in here.
So that's awesome.
Thank y'all for tuning. Like all my friends that y'all came, the ones that came in here and watched and showed some support. I appreciate y'all seriously, because
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if any. I sent the link to like 50 people, from back home. I don't know who popped up in there and see nothing. I'm really zooming right now. Like y'all don't even understand. Like I am floating. So I don't know who popped in. If any of my people popped in, Jersey stand up. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate the love.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all. This meant a lot to me because this was nerve wracking for me. My anxiousness was through the roof. But thank y'all.
You know what's funny? What's funny is that every last one of them up there at the top, all these ladies here at the top, every last one, I'm like, I'm so nervous. I don't know if I can do this. They got on this shit and held it the fuck down. Hey, look, I'm not gonna lie. I'm sitting over here. I'm like, ooh, pick me. I want to jump in. I got something to say. I want to talk on that one too. They kept going, so I tried to stay out of it.
Y'all have to forgive me, my fellow podcast mates. If I overtalk y'all or if I'm cut off and I'm trying to finish what I'm saying, I swear to God, it's because my memory is terrible. I will not remember what I'm saying. My memory has never been unfortunately, we all through the pandemic and the COVID and stuff. When I caught it, that memory fog never got back to normal. So Y'all gotta forgive me if I'm like, wait a minute, please let me finish because I will not remember what I was saying. I swear to God. But yeah, I just want to let y'all know. But
Yeah, definitely know about that. I had the same thing with COVID, but
yeah,
this was a very necessary topic to talk about today.
It
Um,
is.
even though it's been talked about when
right.
doing research and everything, I've seen several podcasts talk about it, several news articles or memes or posts or whatever talk about it. It was very necessary
Yeah.
to get another perspective on it because I don't think a lot of people have talked about it from our perspective.
Right.
No. And what one of the things I do like about, our podcast is that we do interact very heavy with our viewers. So we don't just go on what we have to say and just neglect everyone else. We want everybody to feed in. We want everybody to talk about it, everybody to join in. You know what I'm saying? This is one big ass family. Everybody on here is friends. Everybody's cool. So there's not much you're gonna say that's gonna piss anybody off or won't fit the situation unless you are me or Moan. Because we're the only ones that say some outlandish ass shit in the middle of something serious. But other than that, I mean, please join in. Who's Hey Jazzy? Oh hey Jazzy. Who's Jazzy?
Oh, that's
Amber, them your
Jasmine.
peoples.
She's saying hello to Jasmine Morgan. We all
Oh,
went to
hey,
school.
Jasmine.
Oh, hey,
Hey, Jasmine.
Jasmine Morgan. How
Hey,
are
hey,
you, Jasmine?
Jasmine.
Hey, Jasmine
Hey,
Morgan.
Jasmine.
Hey, hey.
Hey, Jasmine.
Mark,
Hey, that's my
stop
daughter's
it.
name. My baby is Jasmine. So, oh, Mark. Oh,
Oh no, I'm just showing her the club scene. I was just making the club
Oh,
scene just in case.
hey. So, I heard you talking about your
Hey,
man.
Jasmine.
You don't sound too happy. Everything all right? I don't want to talk about it. It's okay. You don't have to talk about it
But
right
no,
now.
hey,
Can I buy you a
like I said,
drink?
I'm gonna step away and let the girl, you know what I mean, let the show finish. Hey man, it's
Yeah,
been
I
a
was about
blessing,
to.
man. I love this thing, man.
I was about to run game
Yeah.
real swiftly.
I love this
Real
thing, man.
swiftly.
Hey, keep it up,
I'm
man.
gonna
For sure.
I'm gonna have to step off in a minute myself. It's dinner time. I got the kids, and you know the deal. You know how it goes, Ralph. Got to feed the kids. Got to.
Hey, look, I'm
Uh,
as soon as we get off of here, I'm about to go do and grown people shit, unfortunately, which is fold some clothes. That's the least favorite thing for me to do. I hate that shit with a passion because I got too many people that live in my house that create dirty clothes. By the way, oh shit. Anyway, I guess with that being said, I guess we're gonna bring it on to an end. Thank you for everybody for watching. Please, every Sunday, 3 o'clock, we are here live. Please come join, come talk shit, come have fun. It's always fun. With that being said, I'm done. Yes, Zoe, absolutely. I'm ready to go though. Holla back.
all right. All
Bye.
right. Talk to you ladies
All
another
right, see
Sunday.
you, y'all.
All right.
All right. Thank you for watching, everybody.